What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart review, and I know that I'm very late to the party on this one, but it's worth it to have it out there on the channel, especially if you guys are looking for a good game to play. The state of gaming right now is pretty poor. I mean, there's not a lot out there that's really worth it to play right now, not a lot of new games or anything like that, so you guys might be looking for options for something to play, and this is a game that might be worth your while to check out. So, in today's video, we're going to go over a few different categories to review this game. We're going to be going over the gameplay itself. We're going to be going over the quality and quantity of content, the appearance and interface of the game, the graphics, the customization, and then we will ultimately give it an overall grade and let you guys know if it's worth your money. Starting off with the gameplay category, we're going to give the gameplay category a 9.5 on Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and the reasons for that are that it's a very smooth game. It plays very immersive, it's very fun, and I never had a moment where I wasn't having fun in the game. It has very minimal bugs and glitches. I think there were maybe one or two times that I ran into a glitch where I got stuck in a location or something like that, and ultimately it didn't take long to get that issue resolved. The one thing that I have that's knocking this game is that it's a bit too linear for what is technically an open world game. You're able to go from planet to planet doing different things, and there certainly were a couple of times where I went back to a planet or went to a different planet in order to try to accomplish all the side tasks and earn the trophies for this game, but it really puts you on a linear path, and you're never really going to branch out from that linear path, unfortunately. So the fact of it being an open world game just is not really there for you, and for a game that, you know, is giving you the option to go and do different things at different points in time, it shouldn't be forcing you into quite such a linear path. It should allow you to go out and branch out and explore and do your own thing a little bit. Unfortunately, that's just not there for this game. One benefit that I do want to label for this game is that you're able to accomplish everything within the game without having to do a new game plus. This is a mechanic that's been invented by game developers in recent years, where you start a new save with all of your progress and you get to do additional things in the new save file. You're going through the same story, which I think is just bizarre. I don't personally like it. I think it's a very weird mechanic that they came up with to get you to keep playing the game, as opposed to just focusing on giving you more content to begin with. It's one of my major issues with the Spider-Man games, for example, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Whenever I played that, in order to get all of the trophies, you have to go back and play the game through an entire second time in order to achieve the platinum trophy and achieve the various trophies that you want to accomplish. So unfortunately, that's a mechanic that they are pushing nowadays, and it is a mechanic within this game, but luckily enough, you don't really have to go into the new game plus to get all the trophies for this game and accomplish everything that you want to accomplish. Moving on to the quantity and quality of the content within this game is very fun and immersive at every point. The quality of the content is there. It's top notch. It's going to be able to compete with pretty much any other game you play in terms of the quality of what you're actually playing and whether you enjoy it or not. The only problem is that this game went by very quickly and left me wanting more. Unfortunately, this means that the game is lacking in the quantity department of content provided, and again, it's one of those games that gives you a new game plus and wants you to try to play the game over again, as opposed to just focusing on giving you enough content to begin with. So that is going to knock the grade for this category down to an 8.7, which is pretty much carried by the quality of the content in this game and pretty much only knocked down by the lack of quantity of content. Then we move on to the appearance and interface of the game, and that's mainly the menu system, all of the interfaces that you have to deal with as a user, and we're looking at a 9.0 grade here. It's as easy as about any other game to get to everything that you need to get to. It's a relatively functional system. It's user-friendly. The only thing that I have to knock on this is that there were a few times where the system just didn't work as well as it should have. It was giving me notifications for things that were unlocked that weren't unlocked. It was being a bit buggy at times, and there were a couple of times where I was trying to find something, and it took me a minute to really understand how to get to the items I was looking for, So unfortunately, it's not a perfect system, but it is sufficient enough to keep you from getting upset with it, angry, lost, any of those types of things that other games out there struggle with that will get you lost in their menu system just because of poor design. So it does get a 9.0 grade, which is pretty strong to begin with. The graphics of this game is the next category, which is going to get a 9.5 grade. This is one of the first PS5 / next gen titles out there, and it shows. It has very, very solid graphics. It's not going to be the most graphically pleasing game you ever play, but it is certainly fantastic in the graphical department, and you're not going to be left wanting in terms of the graphics of the game. And that brings me to my final category, which is going to be the customization within the game, which is an interesting one. We're only going to give this category a 7.5 grade. It's a suboptimal customization system within the game, unfortunately. It's always an afterthought within this game. I mean, I never found myself looking to go in and put on a new armor suit or try to do too much customization with my weapons or anything like that and try to find different weapons within the game. It just wasn't really pushed in that manner. It was never really necessary because of how linear the game actually is. It's just not an issue. And so that's negative in the fact that a lot of the old Ratchet & Clank games, and what I came into this game wanting, was the ability to customize my armor, my character, and do it in a way that's meaningful, that actually matters, that actually makes me want to go out and find other weapons and go out and find other pieces of armor and things like that. And unfortunately, that's just not the way that this game is. So it's taken a step back from the older games, and that's a lot of what we see consistent within the gaming industry nowadays, is features that were prominent in older games that people loved becoming less and less in tune with the games that are coming out now in favor of just really good graphics. And so it's unfortunate to see things like that, and that's the way the most of the gaming industry is going, and that does take a little bit of a toll on this game as well. So like I said, the customization aspect of this game is going to get a 7.5, and that ultimately is going to culminate in an overall grade for this game of an 8.8. And that overall grade of an 8.8 is actually really consistent with the other grades that I saw after I graded this game, the grades that I see out there on the internet. A lot of people gave this game somewhere in the high 8s, somewhere into the low 9s, so it's a really solid game. You're going to have fun playing this game. It's certainly worth it to go out and play it if you have not already. And one of the things that I'd like to note for you guys is that this game is selling for as inexpensive as $12 out there on eBay. You can go and get this game for extremely cheap, and you're going to have a really good time with it. So I highly recommend that if you have not had an opportunity to pick this game up yet, that you certainly do go pick it up and just give it a play. It's going to be a good time, and in the state of gaming that we're at right now, it could certainly be a life changer for you guys, to be honest with you. It's one of those games that I was looking for something to play, decided to go back and play it, and had a really good time with it, and I'm glad that I did, because there's not a whole lot else to play right now that is that quality or really entertaining whatsoever. So I do hope that this video was helpful to anybody out there. If it was, leave a like on the video, comment, and subscribe. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys have a good one.